Yo!
Dreaming. Don't give it up, Lupe. Dreaming. Don't give it up, Solo. Dreaming. Don't give it up, Nave. Dreaming. Don't give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
And a one, and a two, and a... Hey guys, welcome back to Phil Plays TCG. Today, we are hopping back on the One Piece train, talking about what a lot of people seem to be talking about right now. And that is Sakazuki really the best deck in format? Or is this a situation where we saw it putting up numbers in Europe and, Japan, and now we're seeing it, we're hoping for those same results here in North America, and we're just not getting those. This is going to be, completely my own opinion based off the numbers that we've seen, but personally, I believe that Sakazuki, while being one of the best decks in the format, absolutely, probably is my number 2 deck. I do believe that there is a better deck than Sakazuki, and we're going to talk about that. But first and foremost, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 800 subs. At the time of recording this video, we are only 18 away from 800. And then eventually, we're going to be on that grind to 1,000. Thank you so much for everyone. Thank you so much to everyone, I should say, that has helped me get this far in only the last month. It has been absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much. If you like Dragon Ball and One Piece content, you're in the right place. So hit that button, help a guy out, and let's just continue on with the video. So, as you can see here on screen, we are talking about the facts about Sakazuki. Now, it's easy to see that Sakazuki does take up most of top cut, whether it be top 16, 8, or 64. He takes up most of the top cut. And the deck is good, 100%. I am never going to say Sakazuki is bad, but as someone who has been trying to play Sakazuki for a while now, I've given up on playing the deck because not because I don't think the deck is good, but because the RNG with this deck and the consistency for this deck, in my opinion, is not as good as another deck that I'm going to show you. That I cannot tell you how many times I've played this deck where I've used the leader ability to trash one card, draw one. I trash a Hina, and I draw a Hina. I trash a Rob Lucci. I draw a Lucci. I trash whatever the case, and I just draw a second copy of that card. Like, just the odds of that happening are so... It shouldn't be as high as they are, and it just gets annoying. I've lost plenty of games by breaking out because I didn't have anything to combo with. I wasn't able to see the cards I needed in order to take out my opponent's board. My opponent can build boards faster than I'm able to take them out. Just a lot of things. And I think the last time I played Sakazuki was against an Enel player at our locals. And first life I swung in was a Shirahoshi. So I'm like, okay, not great. He's going to be able to cycle cards and get a card advantage over me. Second life was Charlotte Cracker. At that point, I had more life than him, so Charlotte's ability now triggers, which Sakazuki does not like double attack. So then I get rid of his Cracker, not a huge deal. Swing into life again. Third life, another Charlotte Cracker. At that point, I did not have the ability to get rid of it, and he was able to swing 12k double into me. So obviously taking that hit. Finally, fourth life was another Shirahoshi. And this is all before I think I was on turn 3 and I had gone second. Turn 3 or 4. And, I was on turn 3. So then he gets his life, gets his cards, puts his life down. I'm able to swing again into life, and he gets a beige trigger. So at that point, I was at my 8 dawn turn, and I got completely destroyed. And that's just one example, but that's the example of me where I was just like, I'm done playing this deck because I wasn't seeing my pieces again. Every tournament that I've played in Sakazuki, I just brick out every time. I'm never able to see the consistency pieces I need. I'm using all these different builds, all these different testing options, and it just never felt good to me. It always felt bricky. So I'm just done with it. But sorry, long rant. That's done. Other facts: it has not won a big North American event. That is a fact. It has won some what you can call huge turnout events, like players that are almost 1,000 players, anywhere from 400 to 1,000 players, but it has not won a huge event. So that's a fact. That's just a fact of life. We have to get over that. It has won a few smaller events, though, 100%. Like I mentioned, it has won a couple events that were not like these huge big events. It didn't win North American Nationals. It didn't win Worlds. Well, I'm sorry. It did. I think it did win Worlds. But God, you know what? I'm not actually 100% sure about that. Hold on, actually, one quick sec here. All right, I just checked. Worlds has not happened. Sorry. For some reason, I thought I saw something that said Worlds had already happened, and I just wanted to make sure. I looked into it before I even made this video, so my apologies there. No, Sakazuki has not won Worlds. He has not won any big events, though he has won some smaller, technically smaller events. Once again, I'm not saying the deck is bad. The deck is phenomenal in the right hands, and it does have a high skill ceiling. But based off its numbers, it hasn't been as big of a threat as it was in other countries. Now, when you look back at the previous meta where we had the big three, which were Zoro, Red, Green, Law, and Whitebeard, those were always like Whitebeard took up most of the events, like Top Cut, but he'd also win a lot of those events. You'd also have Zoro and Law picking up a bunch of wins as well. But Whitebeard, the former big bad, because a lot of people say Sakazuki's the big bad of this format. Whitebeard, the former big bad, was putting up more results than Sakazuki. So that's just a fact. If we look into this, if we count all the big event wins, and this is the information I got from Eggman Events. I counted up how many of the events were won by each of the new big three, which people would say is Enel, Sakazuki, and Purple Luffy. And if you look at the numbers, Enel has more wins than the other two, while with Sakazuki and Purple Luffy being tied at 4. Enel did win the North American Championship against Sakazuki, and the recent Treasure Cup was won by Purple Luffy. Sakazuki was very much in attendance, huge amount of players, but the numbers don't lie. Sakazuki is not putting up the insane numbers that people thought he would. And once again, he's an amazing leader. These three are definitely in the top 3, while I do think Purple Luffy is probably the 4th best leader in the game right now. I still think Katakuri is a better leader overall. Just Yellow is ridiculously powerful. But yeah, just going over numbers alone, Enel is getting more wins. And if we go over here, I do believe, and I'm not alone here, a lot of people are starting to kind of switch up their thoughts about what is the best deck in format. And a lot of those people are starting to think maybe Enel is the real best deck in format. It has more North American event wins than any of the other big three. It in my opinion, has more consistency with its searching, being able to build bodies, clear boards, more so than Sakazuki can. And because it has more searchers, has more ways to look through the deck, grab cards than Sakazuki does. Sakazuki absolutely has more recursion, no doubt about that, with the discard pile. But I think Enel has better consistency. It doesn't die. That ability is so ridiculously broken. With the fact that most yellow decks are like 70% triggers, it is so hard, 70 or even more percent of triggers. It is so difficult to plan for what's going to happen. You can't plan for triggers. You can hope for the best, but the fact that you always have to at least try to plan for triggers, and then maybe nothing happens, or maybe it's a trigger you didn't expect. You never know what you're going to get with yellow. And when you have cards that straight up just like beige, that deny your opponent from being able to swing in with their last card if they're going for game, or they have blockers that they can play immediately from trigger, or just anything can come out of there. A body that can swing in for lethal next turn, blockers, thunderbolts, 200 million volts Amaru, like all these things. You can't it's so difficult to go in for that last kill, because instead of swinging twice, you need to swing 3 times, which maybe not everyone has the ability to do. Like I said, yellow can block her up, yellow can tap down bodies, yellow can destroy bodies. It's incredibly difficult. And then finally, it has a good matchup. And in fact, I would say a great matchup into Sakazuki. Sakazuki, like I said, Sakazuki can build a wide board, but everything that Sakazuki plays for the most part is below 4 cost, which yellow has a lot of ways of getting around that, as well as just having, in my opinion, a scarier boss monster in 7-drop Enel in comparison to 7-drop Borsalino. It has Rush, which Sakazuki doesn't like, with 4-drop Katakuri and 7-drop Enel. It has life consistency, with the 7-drop Big Mom. It does a lot of things that Sakazuki doesn't like. And people will say, oh, Sakazuki and Enel have like a 50-50 matchup. No, I think, honestly, Enel has closer to like a 65 to 35% or 60 to 40% win rate against Sakazuki. At least everything that I've seen, all of my testing, the deck is fantastic. And yellow has just some of the best cards in the game. You combine them with a leader that just does not die and then constantly recycles that last life if you're not able to get around it. It's amazing. It absolutely is a fantastic deck, and I hope that the numbers will show you, and the little bit that I've talked to you today about will show that Enel is, in my opinion, the real best deck in the OP05 format. And I know yellow gets stronger in set 6. Hell, Sakazuki gets better in set 6. So we'll have to see if that changes. But for now, I think Enel is the top dog in this game. But hey, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you agree with my thoughts that Enel is the best deck, or do you still believe that Sakazuki is best deck? I'm not saying Sakazuki is bad. Once again, I have to iterate that. Sakazuki is, in my opinion, the second best leader in the game, but Enel is just a better leader overall. All right. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video. Take care, guys.
The story goes, we find out by the treasure in the grand line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king.
His name is Luffy.
That's Monkey D.
Luffy, king of the pirates.